We are here in beautiful San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato. For those of you who maybe have investigated or interested in retiring in Mexico, you no doubt know that between Ajijic and San Miguel de Allende, there are two of the largest communities of foreigners and of the most sought after places to retire to here in Mexico. So we're going to drive around, we're going to show you downtown and some other areas around San Miguel de Allende, and I'd like to do a little bit of my personal comparative between San Miguel de Allende and Ajijic as far as pros and cons. So come along with us. This is us heading towards a lookout, and we're going to see all around the city, and we'll talk about some pros and cons. So here we are sort of heading out of town. This is the newer developments outside of downtown San Miguel de Allende. So you've got some bigger shops, some shopping centers. Up here to the left is a supermarket that has a really nice supply of imported goods, just specifically for foreigners, that is not easy to get just anywhere in Mexico. I really liked this supermarket, and I think if you come here, you will too. Check it out if you do. La Comer, San Miguel de Allende, beautiful. This is a road that's going to take us to a lookout where we can see an aerial view of San Miguel de Allende, Guanajuato, and we'll talk a little bit about it. So a little bit about San Miguel de Allende. As of 2020, there was about 72,000 population. It's about 6,200 feet above sea level, so pretty high up. But as you can see here in this aerial view, it is quite large in comparison to Ajijic, which as of 2020 was a little over 11,000 population. As we talked about in an Ajijic video that we recorded earlier in the channel, if you haven't checked that out, please do. Ajijic is stuck between the mountains and the lake, and so there's not a lot of room to grow, but as you can see, there's central downtown with the iconic church. San Miguel de Allende is quite a bit bigger and has quite a bit more to offer than Ajijic does, but we'll talk about some of the pros and cons to that as well. But here you can see an aerial view of San Miguel de Allende. And as we all know, this has really grown in popularity. So here at the lookout are locks of love. I don't know what they're called, but where people come who are in love and lock together their love with one of these locks. And there are lots of them here. You can come and add yours. Maybe you already have. Let me know down in the comments if you've been to San Miguel de Allende, what you thought about it in comparison to Ajijic, if you've left a lock of love here. I did not, but we saw a lot of interesting ones. Hopefully all these loving couples are still together. So now let's head more into the downtown area, and you'll get a good look at the beautiful architecture. You get a real sense of how old this city is. I was super impressed by how beautiful it all is. So let's take a look around downtown. So this is just basically a look at some of the residential areas around San Miguel de Allende outside of downtown. Basically, this is what you see: cobblestone roads, old architecture, wooden doors, a lot of vegetation growing on the walls, on the houses. It's cooler here in general throughout the year than it is in Ajijic, something to consider. It was cool, a little warm, but probably about in the 80s today when we were here. This is April 2024. So take that into consideration. But generally, Guanajuato is cooler than Jalisco. So Up here ahead, we're gonna go look at one of the oldest churches, the first church built here in San Miguel de Allende. And please come along and enjoy the look of this beautiful architecture, especially if you're considering retiring here. So right in the middle of this residential area we're walking around is this park. And I like this park because I think in general, San Miguel de Allende, you really need to have a good stamina to be able to walk around the downtown areas. There's a lot of hills, a lot of streets, a lot of up and down. Some of the streets are pretty narrow. So this park was huge and flat. And so you could get in some really nice walking. We saw a lot of people doing exercise. What I can say about San Miguel de Allende is it is impeccably clean and beautiful. So let's walk around the park and just enjoy some of the views. Here they had on display some historical pictures from San Miguel de Allende dating back to the 1900s, which was pretty neat to see. And I guess you can say here's kind of like the founding of the city, 1893. And some historical information that you can usually find online, but this city definitely has a great cultural history in Mexico. So I particularly loved this part of the park. It's just me. I don't know. Tell me in the comments. Did you like it too? Did you think this was interesting? Have you seen this somewhere else? This little section is like a garden separated into different sections. So this is the herb section, and here on the little plaque you can see what kind of herbal flowers and plants were planted here in this section. Let's see what else they have. This part is called the shade garden, so only plants that can live in shade and provide some shade and necessary food for insects. And then we head to this section, and this is milkweed, and they say that the milkweed is essential to the monarch butterflies because it's the only place they lay their eggs. And then we head to this part, and it is the garden for the butterflies. So it has all kinds of flowers that are specially meant to attract butterflies. And then over here we have also the part of the butterfly, and it tells you about the migration of the monarch butterfly. And this section was meant just for them, to attract them to be able to have food and to be welcome here in the shade and have plants they like. And then this is the bee garden. Plants especially meant for bees to come and pollinate and be able to thrive here. And then over here at the plaque, of course, this I think I was supposed to start at this end, but then I ended up not starting it at this end. And here's this beautiful water fountain for birds or insects. And this plaque tells us that this garden is especially for pollinizers. And so they've created a habitat just for insects and birds that pollinize, and that they can come and be a part of this garden. And I thought that that was super beautiful, and I really enjoyed that part of this. It's just kind of speaks to the culture here in San Miguel de Allende. Very environmentally friendly, very clean, very green. I definitely like that, a big plus. Aside from just general walking around, you can get a personalized yoga, jujitsu, I don't know. Tell me in the comments, meditation, what are we doing over here? But you can get a personalized class and come here and relax in the park. So I wanted to take a look at this and show you guys, okay, this is life thriving despite rock wall-like conditions in its exterior. They built this wall around this tree and it's very happy. So we can thrive. We can thrive in life too. Let's walk around. This is where we're gonna head up. Quite a few stairs. I died, literally. And I don't feel like I'm in terrible condition, obviously not in great condition. But up here at the top is where we're gonna see the oldest church in San Miguel de Allende. Let's check it out. Okay, if you like counting, you can start counting steps now. So in the earlier times, water used to run here down this area, these rocks, and the women would come and wash their clothes here a long, long time ago. Well, this part kind of reminded me of downtown Manzanillo. Downtown Manzanillo is not as beautiful as San Miguel de Allende, but a lot of steps. You really need some good legs to get around some of these places. I definitely would not want to live up some of these streets where you really have no access to the roads except for your just pure muscle. Let me know in the comments if you know what bird this is. They told me. I forgot and didn't write it down. That's my old lady memory. But they were migrating this time of year and the trees were filled with them. And they say that they migrate in the colder months north and then head back during the warmer months. And this building to the left is the oldest church in San Miguel de Allende. You can definitely tell that the structure is very old. When we get up to the top, we'll turn around and you'll be able to see the top of it and the look out at the city from this vantage point, if you have the lungs to get up here. And if you're into this kind of thing, here was a display of some old prints of old photos of people and places in San Miguel de Allende. Okay, we're heading to downtown now. I promised you that the roads would get narrower. I don't know if you can get the sense of how tiny this sidewalk is and how narrow this road is, but you've got to have some good skills for parking and walking to get around. I definitely think that's one of the downsides to San Miguel de Allende over Ajijic. The roads in Ajijic are also very narrow, but I feel like it's easier to get around on bike in Ajijic. You can pretty much go anywhere on bike lanes and have a little bit easier access to anywhere you want to go. But I feel like San Miguel de Allende, you definitely have to get around either in car. So a lot of people we saw were getting rode around in taxis, or if you like exercise, I mean, this is a great place to get it. And this road takes us straight into the kiosco or the plaza, the downtown area where the famous church is. As we walk around, this is a good time to chat about the pros and cons of San Miguel de Allende de Ajijic. One of the things that I can say is San Miguel de Allende is about 62 miles to the largest city, Guanajuato City, and an hour and a half to Guanajuato's International Airport. And while Ajijic is about 60 kilometers to Guadalajara Centro, it's only about 30 to 40 minutes from Guadalajara's International Airport, which is obviously much larger than Guanajuato's. So finding a flight to and from Guadalajara is usually a lot easier and cheaper than it would be to Guanajuato City. And Guadalajara is a population of about 3 million people, and Guanajuato City is only about 200,000, 250,000. So obviously the size and what's available in and around Guadalajara as far as hospitals, pharmacies, treatment, stores, all those kinds of things, there's obviously a lot more in Guadalajara. It's a big city, so you have to deal with that and the traffic and all of those things. But I think as far as architecture, clean, beautiful, Guanajuato here, San Miguel de Allende is definitely gorgeous. Ajijic is very beautiful as well. Different strokes for different folks. Let me know if you've been to both, if you preferred one over the other, what your pros and cons were as far as Ajijic versus San Miguel de Allende. You can see that I barely fit on this sidewalk. Oh, here we go. We can look at some of these here, 2024, some of the prices in dollars for houses. Obviously those change with time, as you know. San Miguel de Allende and Ajijic are both expensive as far as comparing them to a traditional Mexican town because of all of the foreigners, but obviously in general cheaper than living in the States. But let me know your thoughts about that too if you live here in Mexico. And here we are arriving to the plaza, the downtown area, and the iconic rose-colored church. And I have to say, at night, this church lights up and the architecture is just outstandingly beautiful. It is definitely gorgeous and well made. And the plaza here is very lively at night. We came here about 9:30 p.m. last night, and there was mariachi everywhere. The plaza was filled with people. You could tell no one was afraid of walking around at night. That there was no problems with those kinds of things. There were a lot of foreigners out enjoying life and enjoying the cool air here in the plaza. A lot of food. So I definitely think the nightlife here is hopping, and the plaza was full of people and everyone was having a good time.
Yeah. See you later.
So basically, this was our tour of San Miguel de Allende. This gave us a pretty good look at what it's like here. what it looks like, what the roads are like. Obviously, you can check online and get pricings for rentals and houses and see what you can find as far as if you're interested in moving here. I think it's a beautiful place to live. I think in comparison to Ajijic, it definitely has pros and cons. Maybe the one of the biggest, in my opinion, is how far it is from a big city, from an international airport, and the ease of being able to get around without a car, and how hard it is to find parking. Those are some of the biggest pros and cons that I could see. But let me know in the comments if you've been here to San Miguel de Allende, if you visited Ajijic. I also have a video of Ajijic and of Lake Chapala, and let me know what you think. We appreciate any comments, any feedback, positive, constructive. A thumbs up on our video helps get the video out there so other people who are interested in seeing what it looks like here in San Miguel de Allende can see the video and find it easier. Helps us out. We're a new channel. Let us know if there's other places in Mexico that you'd be interested in seeing or other information you'd be interested in knowing. I have a video of Guanajuato City coming up, so stay tuned for that. You can turn on notifications and you'll get notified when I load that up. And I also have plans of doing some more videos in and around Lake Chapala. So thank you for joining us. Please come back. Please recommend our videos to other people if they've been helpful to you. And I hope you have a beautiful day as you join us on our tours of interesting places in Mexico.